Welcome to your Daily Revolution podcast. Today's topic, how to avoid being triggered. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Let's go! This is your daily revolution. Living prosperity, we show you how to do it. There's no luck about it, we got the strategic blueprint.
What up, man? Good to be with you guys on the podcast today. Thank you for listening, and I'm so grateful that you take time in your day to allow me to enter into your world and for you to be in my world. If the podcast is helpful and useful, I have one request of you. Share it. Just send it to someone who could use it, or put it on your social media, tag me, let me know what your thoughts are, and or leave me a review. That's how we get the message of the revolution out. That's how we help people to shift into this mindset of prosperity. All right, let's talk about triggers. So I live here in Destin, Florida. It's a vacation beach town. So we have tons and tons of visitors year round, especially now with the summer months coming up. And I get sometimes Setema, sometimes I get triggered. Now, you can count on me being very real and raw and making it relevant for you, because that's what we do, right? That's what, to me, that's what allows us to really connect with people. I don't want to know about your perfect life and how you never make mistakes. Like, I get triggered. The reason I get triggered is I'm driving along on our streets and you have tourists all over and they're driving 15 miles slower than the speed limit. They're clogging up traffic. They don't know where they're going. They don't know how to navigate our roads. It's a little bit different down here when you're crossing the streets and there's three-way stops. So sometimes, like last night, I was just, end of the day, I got my son in my car. We basketball, pick him up at 8 p.m. So we've been going since 5:30 in the morning. And I'm driving home and there's just, this Jeep in front of me and he's just, the speed limit's like 45 and he's going like 25 or 30. And I drive past and I kind of glance over like, what are these guys doing? They're just driving on their phones and looking at, you could tell they're on one of the social media platforms driving. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm getting so frustrated. Now, why am I getting frustrated? See, here's where the trigger becomes the teacher. And if you're really paying attention, if you're really striving and seeking to have personal power in your life, instead of getting mad that you get triggered, I let the triggers become the teacher. Now, before we talk about letting your triggers become your teacher, I want to just take a step back and say, why do we get triggered? While I'm talking, think about in your life, what triggers you? Is it your teenager not listening to you? Is it an employee who's not doing what they're supposed to do? Does it stem from expectations that are unmet or unfulfilled? Is it because you think you should be in a different place than you're at, right? There's a number of reasons why you might get triggered, but let me help you understand one of the biggest reasons we get triggered is that we argue against reality. What I mean by that is, what is reality? Reality is what is, or the truth. And the truth is, people from out of state that come to my hometown right now, they don't know how to navigate these roads. This is the first time for them. So the truth is they're going to drive a little bit slower and they're on vacation. So they slow down to look at the beach. They slow down to see everything that they got. And that's the truth. Now, if I argue against that or go against that, triggers are easy. But if I think these people should know how to drive, then what's the truth? They shouldn't. They're not from here. When I go to a new town, I've been to Tennessee this year. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to Colorado twice. I've been to Utah. I've traveled quite a bit to speak on stages. And when I go to new towns and I'm in a Turo or an Uber, or not an Uber, a rental car, I drive slow. And that's the fact. So notice why do we get triggered? Because we oftentimes go against reality. Another way of saying this is we are extremely judgmental. Other people should do this. Other people shouldn't do this. What are you doing? And we just judge people like crazy. So you want to avoid being triggered? Well, just simply allow the triggers to be your teacher. And as soon as you get a trigger, like again, I was driving today. I'm actually in my truck right now, getting ready to walk into the office and start my work day. And I was driving over here, same thing, cars going super slow. Everyone waits like 8 seconds at the three-way stop. Who's going to go? And they kind of look at each other, twiddling their thumbs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's hilarious to me because the moment the triggers come up, I just say, whoa. What is this teaching me? about myself? What is this emotion that can show me a path or a nugget or a lesson about myself? And then I just start to go into principle 6, which is ask and receive, right? Let me just ask some powerful questions. Do I like to feel this way? No. Do I like being in a rush to the point where I'm just so judgmental of others? No. What can I learn about myself is that I'm judgmental right now. Well, who am I being right now? Or who am I not being? Well, I'm not being patient and I'm not being understanding. And if I really wanted to get somewhere faster, I ought to just leave earlier. So there's just so many teachers. So I let my triggers become teachers by asking questions and observing and noticing. Something else that I do come from the late Jim Rohn, who said, let your frustration turn into fascination. And I love the way he says that. I get frustrated on the road. Again, I'm talking about driving specifically in my town where people they pull out into the middle of the road. Their car is literally halfway in the driving lane while we're all going 50 miles an hour. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So like if I turn that frustration to fascination or the trigger to the teacher, I've got to step back and just look at myself, look at what I'm believing to be true, look at the stories that I'm telling myself and just say, is there a better way that I can behave? Is there a different perspective that I can see? Now, if you take this principle into life, physically, spiritually, relationally, or financially, everything that's happening to us, one perspective is that it's happening to us and we have no control. Another perspective, one of possibility and prosperity and abundance, is that, look, things are going to happen to us. Why not let them happen for us, to teach us, to guide us, to forge us, to mold us? And that's how successful people get ahead. They let the triggers become the teacher. They let the triggers show them something about themselves, to be less judgmental, to be more understanding, to be better prepared. I can promise you right now, if you'll let your triggers become the teacher, you won't shame or guilt yourself for being triggered. And you can just take a few deep breaths, get some perspective, ask some different questions to see something different, to notice something, to try on a less judgmental perspective, to gain perspective and or a perception that allows you to be served. As summer months are coming up, and again, I'm in a town where there's lots of tourists. Tens of thousands of people are going to roll through Destin, Florida this summer. Just a reminder to let my triggers be teachers, to let my messes become messages, turn my frustration into fascination, to just be wowed by what could be possible, what could I learn, and to be okay with that. Now, if you want to be frustrated and mad and angry at the world, then go ahead. But if you actually want to have some peace and joy and some understanding and be someone who creates maximum value, well, let the trigger become the teacher. Learn what you need to learn. Take some deep breaths and just ask yourself, is this how I want to live my life? And for most of us, the answer is no. Most of us want to be happy. We want to have perspective and patience. We want to build a life of abundance into prosperity, especially financially, and with our health and with our purpose and spirituality and our relationships. Guys, have an amazing day. If this has been helpful, I invite you to join us in our Huddle. Join us in one of our groups. We've got a number of groups. We've got the Certified Master Coach. We've got the Stage Speaking Boot Camp. We've got Immersion, Circle of Champions. But I'm just inviting you to get into the Huddle. The Huddle is where everything begins. It is where I go live every single week, where I coach and I teach and I train every week for an hour. Plus, I give you access to about 60 hours of high-level, powerful content that people have paid tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, the clients that have been with us for a number of years. And I look forward to helping you to just really build your business, build your life, build your body, build your bank account, build your heart and soul so that you become the greatest version of yourself. Go check that out right now. And until next time, have an amazing day. Let the triggers be your teachers. Turn the frustration into fascination, and let's go.
This is your daily revolution. Live in prosperity, we show you how to do it. There's no luck about it, we got the strategic blueprint. This is your daily revolution. You already know. And if you don't, then check my resume. Turning pressure into possibilities every day. We all can win and live our unique purpose. We change our mindsets and put the work in. This is your daily revolution. Your daily Revolution. Revolution. Your daily revolution podcast.